What's good, what's good, what's good, what's good? It's your boy, Timeless Tenacious, aka Mr. Steal Your Girl. You dig? You call me whatever you like. It don't matter. But anyway, with that being said, on a serious note, man, we are here today to react to 10 famous people allegedly killed by the Illuminati. Freemasons, the elites, the ones who control the narrative, the ones who run the world. Now let's get into it.
As with almost any famous tragic event, conspiracy theories have sprouted up regarding the shooting of John Lennon.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And
yeah, I've always heard some crazy stuff about John Lennon too. You know what I'm saying? And shout out Watch Mojo, by the way. You know what I'm saying? For the video.
Today we're examining 10 famous people allegedly killed by the Illuminati.
It's important for people to understand that something this big can happen, and your government may not tell you the truth about it.
May not? They will not.
For this list, we're looking at deceased celebrities whose deaths have been the subject of many conspiracy theories, some involving the supposed secret society. To be clear, the idea of a new world order and the existence of...
Yeah, definitely. I heard Princess Diana got took out. Michael Jackson, he definitely got took out. John Lennon, most likely got took out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so different because it's like, these aren't even just like average Joe individuals who work just like regular jobs, you know, regular 9-to-5s or have regular careers. These are people who are celebrities, high-level celebrities in the entertainment world, in the entertainment business, and they have associations with the elites of Hollywood, with the elites of the world. You know what I'm saying? So of course they're in those same rooms, rubbing shoulders, crossing paths, seeing each other at these events, these parties, these organized events. You know what I'm saying? Of course they've crossed paths, of course they talk, of course they know of each other. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people either did things that went against the oath and code that they took, said certain things, try to expose things, and if you go out of bounds, would you take that step, you go out of bounds, they gonna check you for it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's they try to publicly humiliate you, make you look crazy, stupid in one way or the other, try to make you lose credibility so people don't take your words serious, or they'll just kill you, or they'll just take you out, or take one of your family members out, your friends, your people, someone around you out. You know what I'm saying? To cause more trauma and pain in your life, or if not, like I said, they'll take you out to just shut you up completely because they don't want you to keep talking or trying to expose more, or to even let alone keep living, especially when they've made enough money off of you and they've used you and dried you up like a sponge. There's nothing else they can really gain from you. They don't really care too much to keep you around. They're like, let's just take you out. You served your purpose. Goodbye.
Of the Illuminati are nothing more than conspiracy theories and are not to be taken seriously.
Conspiracy truths. Let's call it that from now on. And that's so crazy because I even heard some stuff about Martin Luther King, bro. It's like, and you really think about it, bro, it's like all these historical like figures besides my Lord and Savior, besides Jesus, of course, besides Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm biased, and I know for a fact that Jesus wasn't a part of none of this nonsense. But anyway, but like the historical figures they use to try to empower, you know what I'm saying, society, the world, generations, specific groups of people. A lot of them have ties to these elite groups. A lot of them have ties to the Freemasons, which is really what people need to be calling the Illuminati. The Illuminati does exist, but their organizations are very mixed together that people confuse the two. The Freemasons are the ones who really run the narrative and have control over a lot of the stuff that goes on in the world, the political world, the government, the media, the news, you know what I'm saying, the food industry, Hollywood, etc., etc. Illuminati, they obviously exist as well, and they have control over other things in the world as well. So it's really just a mixture of these organizations and these secret societies running and controlling the world together. Like I said, it's so crazy because Martin Luther King inspired and influenced millions of people even to this day. So if he was a part of the elite's plan and he went along with the plan that they had for him and he wasn't genuine from the words and the movement that he started, it's so questionable to take any of these people who stood up and stuck out serious. You know what I'm saying?
Had you heard about any of these theories? Let us know in the comments below. Kurt Cobain. The death of Nirvana's frontman is mired in conspiracy theories. Kurt Cobain took his own life when he was 27 years old.
And then this morning, his body found at home, another casualty of success.
However, many have been accused of killing the historic artist and framing his death as an act of self-harm. In fact, journalists Ian Halperin and Max Wallace wrote a best-selling book called Who Killed Kurt Cobain, in which they posit that Cobain's wife, Courtney Love, was involved. But the theories go even deeper, and some of the most outrageous mention the Illuminati.
Many others believe the lower four lines are a completely different handwriting.
What, so they were added by someone else, possibly Courtney? Is that the suggestion?
Yeah.
According to these, Cobain was...
And it's like, even if his wife did do it, his wife could have been instructed to do so. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. And yeah, like that, I did hear something about that. Like, his handwriting wasn't... The handwriting the letter that he left, because they claimed it to be a suicide, wasn't the handwriting he initially had. Not necessarily something you can completely point to the elite being at fault, but at the same time, it's definitely something you could bring into question.
Was assassinated by the secret society, as he had supposedly exposed their machinations on the Nirvana album In Utero. XXXTentacion. Billie Eilish and XXXTentacion had a lot in common. They both emerged as artists in the 2010s. They both enjoyed popularity with Gen Z listeners. They both sang about difficult themes related to depression and anxiety. And according to one ridiculous theory,
RPX though.
Eilish was responsible for XXXTentacion's passing.
20-year-old
Huh? She was responsible.
XXXTentacion killed
Temptation.
in an apparent robbery.
The theory posits that she wanted into the Illuminati and was ordered to take him out as an act of recruitment. This, in turn, would have supposedly informed the lyrics in Eilish's Bury a Friend. The singer, for her part, has seemingly laughed.
That's a twist. Because I never really even like knew Billie Eilish, knew X like that. And to think about it, in all reality, like the people who took X out, they were saying that they got hired, even though in all reality, those people could have just simply just robbed X and shot him. But it didn't even seem like they were just trying to rob X. It's like the whole situation is so weird and just like eerie and like very questionable and sketch to me, because they didn't even seem like they were trying to just rob X. They seemed like they were trying to kill him, execute him. Because if the plan was just to rob him, they got the bag. But I know X was fighting for the bag, but they could have... There was more of them than X, obviously. There was only X and like 3 or 4 dudes. I think it was 3. They could have just pulled him out the car. X had no weapons. They could have jumped him, beat him up, took the bag. There's other ways and other methods. Maybe they felt like that was the easiest way to, you know, get what they were trying to get in dip. Because X was fighting back. X didn't just like let it go. X actually was trying to fight back to keep his stuff. But I don't know, or they could have hit him with the butt of the gun, knocked him out, did something different instead of ending his life. But it felt more like an execution type style thing than just them trying to rob him. But I feel like they covered it with the robbery. Like, of course, if we just kill him and don't take anything, it's gonna look like, yeah, we clearly came to kill him and not rob him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But at the same time, those dudes are claiming Drake or someone put them up to it. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I'm hearing that Billie Eilish had something to do with it, and she was trying to get in the game at that time. She was trying to, you know what I'm saying, give up somebody for her success is very questionable. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Off conspiracies linking her to the supposed secret society.
Honestly, I thought that I would be dead by now.
Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix died of asphyxiation from vomiting while under the influence of substances on September 18th, 1970.
Yeah, Jimmy's so crazy because Jimi Hendrix, too, I heard a lot of stuff about him. I could think it was his manager was overworking him, treating him like a robot, you know what I'm saying, not caring about his health, his well-being, just wanted to make money and, you know, obviously grow his status to make more money, you know what I'm saying. And yeah, I heard, like, I think at some point, I don't know if Jimi Hendrix started like rebelling, or the manager or the elites or whoever felt like he wasn't like useful anymore, and they just, you know, they made enough money from him, they got enough songs from him, you know what I'm saying, they're like, yeah, it's time for him to go, etc., etc. His time came, his card got pulled, and they just took him out. So a lot of these that I'm hearing, a lot of these like names that are being brought up, like I've heard a lot of questionable things over years over the years about these people. So it's just kind of crazy that they bring him up too.
Nearly half a century later, his death is still shrouded in mystery.
German figure skater Monika Denneman spent...
And that's another thing. You got to think about it like this. Like a lot of these people's deaths, like if like people are still trying to figure out what happened to them years later after the declarance of the death, that should be very questionable to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone said Kurt Cobain suicided himself, but later on people were saying, did he get murdered? You should question that. Not saying that when it's stamped, because of course they could say this and it could be that. But that's part of the reason why they shouldn't say this, because you saying this and then later on us finding out that it could be that is like, now we're questioning things. We're you know, like we can't believe or take any of your guys' statements legitimate, because you guys say this 10 years later, people looking into it, it could look like there was foul play, you know, involved, even though people probably knew there was foul play at the beginning, but no one spoke about it. So 10 years later, when they know the people who most likely did it, which might be the Freemasons, the elite, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, the evil ones who worship Lucifer, who worship Satan and do his bidding on this earth. But we'll pay that price, because God does not play games. Those people are of course not going to get caught, because when they cover their footsteps and their tracks as much as possible. And even if they leave a little sprinkle of evidence, it's not enough evidence to point back to one specific person. If anything, it will just be evidence to point back to the organization or the secret society by itself, and that's not good enough, because we can't pinpoint who specifically had a role in it. You know what I'm saying?
Spent time with Hendricks during his final day, and she revealed that he had taken multiple prescription sleeping pills. Of course, conspiracy theorists came up with other ideas, claiming that Hendricks was killed by the American government, who are supposedly in cahoots with the Illuminati.
You can pull...
I mean, supposedly, duh. Nigga, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, they run the world. They control the governments, they control the mass medias, the news outlets, they control the food industry, they control a lot of the markets, they control, like, bro, they control Hollywood. What do you mean? Like, they control, like, literally majority of the markets that are produced and pushed to the world. How could they not control the governments? It doesn't make no sense. The elites, the rich billionaires, sit down with the president, who's the president of the United States. The rich elite billionaires sit down with Congress, senators, Supreme Court justice. Like, what do you mean? These people are, they're very invested into the political world. Their money's invested into the political world. You know what I'm saying? They're low-key law shapers and benders, of course, because they bend the laws that they try to promote and push.
Or liquid
in policies.
Straight into the lungs, and it drowns the person. And this is how they killed Jimi Hendrix.
That's crazy. And you know, so crazy, they could also use the CIA too, of course. Of course, they use these agencies as well. You don't think they got the agencies at their hand and their disposal? They use the CIA, they use the FBI, they use whatever agency they need, bro. Military, Black Ops, Green Berets, whatever agency they need, whatever, you know, group of people they need, they'll use them. If they need activists to go do this, they'll use the activists to go do this. If they need a hero to come out and be the new influence for the world, they're gonna have somebody come out so that person can be the new influence for the world. But really, it's a controlled opposition that they have control over, and they're pulling the strings behind the scenes, and you guys don't even know it.
Hendrix's brother Leon reportedly mentioned him being under surveillance, likely due to his association with Black Power organizations, which some believe lends plausibility to this theory. It's discussed in the book Wild Thing, The Short Spellbinding Life of Jimi Hendrix, written by biographer Philip Norman, but of course, has not been proven.
London's Metropolitan Police had investigated Jimi Hendrix's death, but never charged anyone with a crime.
Princess Diana.
A short while ago, Buckingham Palace confirmed the death of Diana, Princess of Wales.
The violent passing of Princess Diana shocked the world, and roughly 2.5 billion people watched her funeral. So much public interest was bound to result in a
2.5 billion people. That's a lot of people.
Conspiracy theory or two. Many have been blamed for Princess Diana's death, from MI6 to the Illuminati.
See, MI6 is just a version of the CIA. MI6 is just a version of the CIA and the Illuminati. I told you, they got ties to everything, bro. They got ties to all the agencies. They got ties to all the world governments. They got ties to it all, bro. Everything you could think of, they got ties to it all, bro. They got ties to it all. Whether they created it or they infiltrated it, it doesn't matter because they have ties and they control the whole narrative because of the fact that they got the majority, they got the money, and they got the power and the influence. Even if you don't even know them, but they got the influence behind the scenes. And people know who they are, who are in these positions.
Those who subscribe to the Illuminati conspiracy theory believe the organization somehow has ties to all major world leaders and prominent public figures, and that includes...
Yes, we believe that to be exactly true. Not no theory, that's conspiracy truth. It's truth. It's facts. 100% facts. It's been proven. It's been proven. One example is all the presidents are tied to a bloodline. How are every president that's ever been a president tied to a bloodline? Somehow associated from this family to this family to this family to this family to this family. How? There's no possible way. I'm even hearing the big techs. The big techs are also associated. A lot of the big techs are also associated. Like Mark Zuckerberg somehow is associated to Bill Gates. And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Elon Musk is associated to I can't remember who, but all these different people. It's like, bro, how? There's no way that this is a coincidence, bro. There's no way. There's no way at all. No, at all. And I don't believe in coincidences. I believe things happen for a specific reason, or they're planned to. Things either happen naturally, organically, or they're planned and orchestrated.
The royal family. Believers think Diana was assassinated by them due to her public divorce from then Prince Charles.
The letter alleged that a fellow special ops soldier told his wife their unit orchestrated the princess's death and cover-up.
Police investigated many conspiracy theories, but found them to be baseless.
Oh yeah, I bet he found them to be baseless, or the higher-ups told him don't look into it anymore. Don't go any further, or that's your ass. Don't go any further, that's your head, boy. You know what I'm saying? You go into it further, you find something, and not to mention he wouldn't even get no clearance anyway. No matter what he found, they're not gonna let him pass it through, because the higher ups they're gonna shut it down quick and be like, oh, this investigation's closed. Don't even look into it further, and if you do, you're gonna be in trouble. Of course he's gonna let it go, or of course he's gonna come out with a statement saying, oh, these were baseless. There's nothing to it, etc., etc., etc. You don't understand how much red tape these people have to go through, and if it's certain things that they know were caused by these organizations or secret societies, they're not gonna let it pass through, because that's their ass too if they do that.
Most of the blame now lies on the paparazzi and the car's driver.
You believe there was a conspiracy to kill Dodi?
They been murdered.
Marilyn Monroe.
I ain't gonna lie, Marilyn Monroe though, she was a baddie. I kind of wish she was in our time. Not gonna cap.
Epitome of the blonde bombshell,
Yeah, we know she got took out for sure.
Marilyn Monroe saw extraordinary success throughout the 40s and 50s. However, she faced intense personal problems and passed away at age 36 under somewhat unknown circumstances.
Marilyn Monroe was found dead in bed, under circumstances that were in tragic contrast to her glamorous career as a comic talent.
Monroe was found deceased on the morning of August 5th, 1962.
And how many times have we heard this story before? Like, oh, some celebrity, some star just found dead in some hotel, some random hotel. Random. It's just like, it still happens today. This is in the 40s and 60s, 40s to the 60s, bro. I think she died in the 60s. But you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro. How many times have we've heard this story? We've heard this too many times, bro. They don't switch the script because there's not too many scripts they can switch to. You know what I'm saying? They try to keep it simple, but in all reality, it just looks more sketchy. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Think about it. Really think about it. You know what I'm saying? Really think about it. Why I'm hearing that she got took out is because I hear there's a few reasons. Well, I'm gonna say one though, because I heard that she had involvement with the Kennedy brothers at the time, and she was gonna come out and expose that she was messing with both Kennedy brothers, and she was also gonna come out and expose secrets about, like, you know, the elites, the Illuminati, the secret societies, the Freemasons, the governments, the world, etc., etc. And they're like, yeah, we're not gonna let you do that. We're gonna just take you out. Simple. It's literally what they did to her. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Like, they took her out because they didn't want her to speak out about anything. Not even not even the relationship with the Kennedy brothers, which never really came out. They try to hide that as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even like a known thing. Like, you can ask people, did you know that Marilyn Monroe had a relationship with both the Kennedy brothers? People be like, oh really? They would be surprised, but oh really? I didn't know that. because it's been hidden. It's been you know what I'm saying, pushed down, so they don't let it get to the masses. You know what I'm saying?
The deputy coroner ruled that her passing was from having taken too many substances, likely intentionally.
In death, Monroe still captivates us as she did in life.
But some people aren't convinced. Norman Mailer famously believed that the American government was responsible, as he expressed in his controversial book, Marilyn, a Biography. Wild theories of this nature have only proliferated throughout the years, and have come to include the Mafia and, of course, the Illuminati.
This lack of
and that's even more crazy because you have the Mafias too. Like those, I forgot about them. They're tied to them too. You don't think the cartels, the mafias, you know what I'm saying, these mobsters aren't involved with the elites? These mobsters, the cartels are making just as much money as some of these elites. They're in the same parties, they're in the same events. They definitely cross each other. And why do you think a lot of these drugs never came to a full stoppage? If they really wanted to stop the drug trade, they could have stopped the drug trade. They could have stopped a lot of this shit that happened involving the drug wars, drug trade, the empires that got built off of drug and blood money, but they didn't. They said, you know what, let's embrace it. Let's have them come be a part of us. And that's another way for them to make money. They get a cut too. They get a cut for that because they're allowing that shit to pass through the cities, the states, the towns, countries, etc., around the world, not just in America. And we're talking about around the world at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course the elites make money from that. So you think they don't make no money? Of course they do.
concrete evidence helps breed speculation of conspiracy and murder.
Whitney Houston. One of them.
Whitney Houston's another one, bro. And her daughter, too. I'm hearing her daughter got took out by them, too. I'm telling you, bro. It's getting crazy. It's getting wild out here, bro.
Most legendary.
R.I.P. Whitney Houston and, you know, Marilyn Monroe and every other one that, you know, we talked about. R.I.P. to all of them, man. Even though a lot of these people knew the kind of game they were playing. A lot of these people knew what kind of game they were playing. A lot of these people didn't just enter the industry on some, like, innocent stuff and didn't know. Like, a lot of these people knew the kind of game they were playing. And they still decided to play it. And, you know, at some point, it cost them. It cost them dearly.
Legendary singers in history. Whitney Houston died at the age of 48 on February 11th, 2012.
So far, police and the coroner are refusing to offer details about what may have caused her tragic death.
Houston was found at the Beverly Hilton that afternoon, and her passing was later ruled an
See? Another hotel story.
Accident. She was suffering from heart disease at the time and drowned while under the effects of illicit substances.
Houston's mother, Sissy, reportedly spoke to her daughter and said nothing was out of the ordinary.
One crazy conspiracy claims that the Illuminati was responsible for these substances being in her system in the first place. Proponents of the theory allege that this was a way to ensure the survival of Beyonce and Jay-Z's daughter, Blue Ivy Carter. Honestly, this one's so out there, we can't even make sense of it.
That one is, yeah, that's a little strange. The survival of their daughter? Their daughter wasn't even born around the time that Whitney Houston was alive, let alone died. That's a little weird. Yeah, that's a little more of a stretch, I ain't gonna lie. But I do believe there's a lot of connections. I do believe there's a lot of connections, like how they just said how Billie Eilish might have had a hand in X's death. I do believe in the industry there are connections, like someone's death or someone's fall is a chance for someone else's rise and success. I do believe it. I believe that for sure. But the Blue Ivy story, I don't know. I gotta look more into that. That one I might question a little bit because that just sounds a little bit too off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but you never know.
Whitney Houston, simply put, have the greatest voice in the world.
And then you have this kind of stuff happening too, where like a lot of these elites, a lot of these celebrities, they know these things that happen behind the scenes. They know what really happened to her. They know how she got taken out, but they're not going to speak about it because they know what will happen to them if they talk about it. One, and then they go on these award shows, they speak about them, they give them a tribute and stuff like that. In all reality, y'all know exactly what happened to them, and she would still be alive if y'all weren't playing these dirty games with these evil ones, with these evil elites who worship Satan, who worship Lucifer, and will meet their end. They will meet their end. I'm not trying to condemn anybody because I'm not God. Pray to God we all come to terms with the truth. Because even me, sometimes I'm a believer, but I have, you know, I struggle with my faith. I struggle with my faith. I do. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect and I believe in God without having some doubts. Sometimes I still believe in God, but there's times I have a little bit of doubts. There's times I have a little bit of doubts, not in the sense of me being saved from my salvation, or that Jesus rose and died and rose on the cross. More about the fact that, like, sometimes is God looking out for me? Does God sometimes hear me when I pray? Those little things, those little doubts. You know what I'm saying? Like, is God wanting me to struggle more? Like, those little things, those little things, just those little doubts in life. You know what I'm saying? That we all have. I'm not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a firm believer, bro. And I'd rather be a believer of the Lord, Yah, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? The Son of Man, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Than to be a believer of Satan. Even though I believe Satan exists, but I don't believe in Satan. You see the difference between the two? These people believe in Satan and treat them like he's God to them. That's the difference between me and these people, and believers in these people. I'm not trying to make myself seem holier than thou. I promise you. Like I just said, I'm a sinner too. I sin. I struggle with my faith. I struggle with my belief. So it's not like I'm trying to say, oh, I'm perfect or I'm better than these people. But that's what separates us. You see the difference? Okay, let's keep going.
She was a gift from God.
John Lennon.
She was a gift from God. You see how you emphasize God? Yeah. She might have actually been a gift from God. I believe God gave her that voice. I believe the Lord I worship gave her that voice. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. I believe that was a God-given gift that was instilled in her, installed in her as a baby, as a child, as a young woman, right? But at the same time, the devil corrupted her, took her ability, her skills, her beautiful voice, and had her use it for evil and partake in evil game, the devil's playground, which is Hollywood.
The first Beatle to die. John Lennon was killed on December 8th, 1980.
Former Beatle John Lennon is dead. He was shot a short time ago outside his Manhattan apartment building.
The perpetrator was a man named Mark David Chapman. Chapman's motives were reportedly many, as he had long resented Lennon for his personality, way of living, and controversial statements. He wasn't the only person that Lennon had irritated, with the singer being targeted by the Immigration and Naturalization Service and the FBI a few years prior.
They're after us because we talk about peace.
According to the conspiracy theorists, these powers were tied to the Illuminati, who allegedly manipulated or controlled Chapman into doing their bidding.
See? I told you, these people do that. They'll have people do their bidding for them. And what's even more crazy is, like the Beatles were very evil too. Like, their music was very subliminal. They pushed satanic imagery. They worship Satan too. I'm telling you. You can go back through their music and you'll find it. I promise. You'll find a lot of evil symbolism, a lot of evil lyrics, like weird stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they even said that they'll be more praise and worship than God. Like they like, these people really believe that they're gods on earth. Like, not knowing that in all reality you're a mortal human being that is plummeted to the top of Hollywood because you sold your soul, you made sacrifices, you did blood oaths. I'm sorry to say, like, these people gassed your head up. Not saying that you didn't make good music in a sense, even though I never listened to the Beatles, to be honest. I never checked any of their music out ever. Not saying that, they probably didn't make good music, but I'm just saying there's a lot of evil symbolism. They made a lot of weird songs. They referred to the devil and a lot of these evil activists, you know what I'm saying, that have lived like a Lester Crowley. Like, these people followed those rules and laws that these evil ones laid out, like a Lester Crowley. Look up a Lester Crowley and what he stood for. He's honestly what a lot of people in Hollywood look up to. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Uzi looks up to Marilyn Manson, for an example.
Chapman entered a guilty plea, and as of 2023, is still in prison.
What do you make of all the conspiracy theories that have come up in the last 12 years? CIA, mind control, etc.
Against the death of John Lennon?
Yeah.
Hogwash.
Martin Luther King Jr. The world came to a stand.
Yeah, he knows he can't say nothing, because even in jail, they'll take you out, nigga. He's like, yeah, you're gonna stay in jail, buddy. Yep, you did your bidding, you did what you had to do. That's what I'm saying. They dispose you. You think they care? They'll use you, dispose you. That's what the devil does. They do exactly what the devil does. The devil will use you for destruction. When he's done with you, he tosses you away. He disposes you. He doesn't need you anymore. You're useless to him. That's what the elite do. They'll use you, dispose you, toss you away, just like Satan. You're not useful to them anymore. You did your part. You did your bidding. You did your service. Appreciate it. Now go do this bid. Appreciate it. Now go spend time in prison. Like what? Like nigga, what? You know what I'm saying?
Standstill on April 4th, 1968, when Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in Memphis, Tennessee.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
Perhaps the most famous civil rights activist of the 20th century, King Jr. was a major public figure and a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. His actions and influence made him...
You know what's so crazy? You know his actual name was Michael and not Martin. I think he changed his name from Michael to Martin because of like some king. It was like some king or some ruler from back in the day. I can't remember exactly who. So it was originally Michael, like he was born with the name Michael, but he changed it to Martin later in his life.
A target of racists and the FBI, and the organization spied on the civil rights leader for years.
If the FBI believed in early 1965 that their threat would intimidate Dr. King, they would soon find that they were mistaken.
Given all this, his assassination has become the subject of numerous conspiracies, with even more insane theories involving the Illuminati. These stipulate that the society had him killed due to his condemnation of the Vietnam War, as many powerful people had financial ties to the conflict.
What do you think happened?
The government was very involved.
John F. Kennedy. Speaking of assassinations, perhaps none is as notable.
Like this one, yeah, this one is honestly like probably the craziest one. Like everyone has idea that he got took out by the elites. Like everyone has that like, okay, that speculation, that like sketchiness behind this. Okay, this event seems very weird. You know what I'm saying? Especially hearing like, you know, like Lincoln, you know, the Lincoln assassination, like John Wilkes Booth. Like we heard John Wilkes Booth, who was an assassin, who was a hired assassin, who was tied to the elites as well, who got paid to take out Lincoln. So it's like, and that happened way before Kennedy, you know what I'm saying? So things like this is like, this is not something new. Like nothing is new under the sun. All these stuff happens over and over again. History, they say that they don't want history to repeat itself, but history repeats itself. So, but anyway.
As John F. Kennedy's.
President Kennedy and Governor John Connally have been cut down by assassins' bullets in downtown Dallas.
President Kennedy was murdered by a former Marine named Lee Harvey Oswald, who was acting on his own volition.
Cap.
However,
Cap. That boy was hired. Cap. He was hired. Cap. That boy got hired. He was a hired hit.
Oswald insisted that he was a scapegoat before later being charged with Kennedy's death. But Oswald was killed just 2 days after his arrest. To this day, a large...
Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. He got killed after his arrest? Huh. Suspicious. Coincidence? I think not. I don't believe in coincidences. Why do you think they might have took him out? Because they probably didn't want him to talk. Imagine. Think about this though, for real. Think about this though. It wasn't just like, oh, it popped up right there. Oh, which I guess you could say that is naturally and organic, I guess. Because naturally and organic things aren't planned and aren't orchestrated. Things just happen. But I don't believe that to be a natural organic situation. I believe that to be a planned and orchestrated situation. Conveniently, he got killed after he was charged or arrested or whatever. It's too suspicious to me.
Portion of Americans believe there is more to the story, and that a cover-up or conspiracy of some sort is at play.
There are lots of theories. It was Castro, the Mafia, the Soviets, the CIA, you name it.
And see, all those people were very powerful people. They might have all had their hand in it. Let's be honest. All those people were very powerful. Very powerful. They could have all had their hand in it. All of them. Their hand in the pie, their hand in the cookie jar. All of them. Every one of them. Honestly, they probably all had a meeting, bro. They probably all had either a little phone meeting, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, obviously people probably be on the phones all the time talking about crazy business. Or they probably just literally met up in person and talked about this, about taking him out, bro. No, let's be honest, though. You know, they just listed off a grip of people who all could have had association to this hit. And who also had a reason to benefit and gain from it. That's another thing we need to look at, is like, who could gain from this stuff? Who could benefit from this? Who wanted to keep him quiet? Who wanted to shut him up? What was JF Kennedy doing that went against the elite? You know what I mean? Like, what was he doing that went against what they wanted? Think about these things, though, for real.
And yes, for some, that conspiracy includes the Illuminati. These theorists say that Kennedy was planning on exposing the Illuminati and their schemes. So he had to go.
Come on. Let's be for real.
Other dead-end theories over the years include this Secret Service agent with a rifle in the motorcade slipped and shot the president, or that a gunman fired from the curb-level storm drain.
Michael Jackson. The world lost Jackson on June 25th, 2009.
Michael Jackson's a crazy one too, because Michael Jackson was talking about exposing the elite, exposing Hollywood, exposing these Illuminati elite puppet masters, you know what I'm saying, the Freemasons, all these people, like, you know what I'm saying, he was gonna expose them. He didn't even get to finish his movie. They finished it for him, but he himself wasn't alive to finish the movie. So, and it's just so crazy, bro. Like, it's just like, bro, really think about this. All these people we just reacted to, bro, really just sit back, think about this for real. Like, who had the most to gain from it? Why didn't they want these things out there? Why did they try to shut them up, or why did they shut them up? Because they don't want them to expose the truths. They don't want the world to know the things that they keep hidden in the shadows in the dark. Come on, guys, for real. Let's for real think about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about me saying you're blinded, even though people are blinded to these things. It's about the fact that we just gotta wake up, simply. I don't care about me trying to say I'm woke and you're not. It's about the fact that I just want people to understand this stuff is happening and to know that this stuff does take place even from then till now.
He had too much of a powerful anesthetic and other substances in his system and suffered a cardiac arrest.
Both the Los Angeles Times and CBS News are both now reporting that Michael Jackson has died.
Blame was placed on his personal physician, Conrad Murray, who administered the medications to assist Jackson in combating his insomnia. Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter and received a 4-year prison sentence.
Dr. Murray fled the hospital before we...
4-year prison sentence, bruh? 4 years. For killing a superstar. Super pop star. 4 years. And I'm pretty sure they convicted him. For him to face time, they had to have convicted him, and he faced 4 years for that. Trust me, bro. He got paid off. He got paid off. He got told, just do this, you know, do these little 4 years. We'll make sure your family's good forever. We'll make sure you're good forever. We just want to make sure, you know, you're the cover. You know, we want you to be the scapegoat, so we don't get looked at. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, bro.
Arrived, waited a couple of days to get his story straight, and ultimately was prosecuted for his conduct.
But Jackson was paranoid in the period leading up to his death. He allegedly wrote in his diary that, quote, the system wanted to, quote, kill him for his music catalog. Therefore, some fans and...
That's another thing, too. Michael Jackson's catalog was worth billions, bro. And he wanted... No. I think he had his catalog, or he had majority of his catalog, and he was trying to get... I think he had a majority of his catalog, and he was trying to like he had like a share in the company or something. It was something like he had like a share, and they wanted his share, and they didn't want him to have more shares than he already had, let alone, because the more shares he has, the more music he owns, the more power he has, the more influential he is, the more successful he is, the more money he makes. Therefore, he could become an elite status individual, just like the ones who pull the strings. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't want regular individuals who become celebrities to be like that, unless they allow you to. Unless they say, you know what, you seem like a good candidate, we'll let you become like us. You see what I'm saying? Unless they've been in the game, I guess, like a Diddy, maybe, or Jay-Z at some point, and they stop making music and they try to get into the business aspect of things, then yeah, maybe they could become one of those elites, but they won't become the high up ones, though. They might become the low tier ones, like the gatekeepers. They won't become the ones that are really controlling the narrative.
And conspiracy theorists took that to mean that he was taken out by the Illuminati for business reasons.
Should it have been a second-degree murder? Yeah, I think it could have been.
But yeah, man, thank you for watching, man. It's your boy, Timeless Tenacious, Mr. Still Your Girl. This was 10 famous people allegedly killed by the Illuminati. Shout out Watch Mojo, you know, they be dropping the bangers. A lot of the stuff I talked in here, we'll see if YouTube even allows me to post this video, because I said a lot of crazy stuff. So, not even crazy like what I'm saying is crazy, but I said a lot of stuff that they don't want to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said probably a little too much in just this one video. So let's see how this goes. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next video. I'm gone.